December 11th, 2006. This is Diehard Gamer Radio, episode 18.
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. Now your hosts, Murdock, Brian, and John.
Okay, well, welcome back to Diehard Gamer Radio. I am Murdock, and I have Brian, Steve, and John.
Yeah, all you guys just missed all the funny stuff. There's nothing left for the whole show.
Yeah, we've used up all our funny.
We really need to stop talking before we start recording.
Yeah, we're pretty much done. Maybe you should go home now.
In fact, we're just going to start recording next
Press
time
stop
before
now
we start
and talk
recording.
amongst yourselves.
And we're going to act like we didn't start recording,
No,
and then it'll all be recorded.
We should do it like an old film strip.
Yes. Now it's subject 2.
Beep. Flip to side B. Beep.
Better one, better two. Better one, better two.
Hook up a little slide projector and you put the right tape in that had the beeps encoded on the tape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beep.
Use punch cards to clock in, man. What are you talking about? We were
Rabbit
programming
butterflies
with
and you.
All right, so your prostate and you. Beep. Okay.
I am Jax Colon.
Had Jimmy gone to the police, none of this would have happened.
We should do one for video games. When holding on to the Wii remote, don't let go. Beep.
This is your Game Pro game tip.
Yeah, this could happen to you, and then show some poor guy with a Wiimote lodged in his eye and all this blood spurting out.
Dude, that would be a kick-ass Halloween cast.
When blood runs on the TV. Outside.
Wiimote of death.
We'll get to that.
Latest martial arts style.
Does come with a nunchuck.
Dead Wiimote of killing. Death. Dead. Death. Blood. Death.
Gee, Dad, does this have death in it? Oh, it's written all over it, Jimmy. We can't watch this.
So, first news bit, Nintendo World happened. Lots of Wii, not a lot of Nintendo.
So they were a Wii.
Mostly a Wii because it was almost all guys there.
You're saying they were a wee bit short?
Yeah.
Didn't they not even have any Nintendo signs at all?
Yeah,
Just
it was
Wii
just
everywhere?
it was just Wii.
Just
it was
Wii.
Yep,
All the way home.
Yeah, it was like some sort of backwards propaganda machine. It was Wii. All I saw was Wii, but I didn't see any Wii.
Yeah.
What?
So it was
Stop messing with my head!
Nintendo World was basically
Wii
World. I mean, that's it.
And that's our Rewind on the subject.
And it was just stuff that had already been released. And there wasn't a lot of new stuff at Nintendo World, so it's kind of
a waste of money.
We've been going up to the whole Wii hype, so of course they've been pushing out and telling everybody about every game that's possibly going to be coming out for the next 6 months. It's not like they had anything left for after the release.
Yeah.
Is anybody, like, on kind of a sort of the same topic, but kind of off topic, is anybody kind of weirded out by the Wii commercial campaign? With the two Japanese guys
showing
who are
up
showing up at people's houses.
Not only that, they're showing up in a smart car, so it's cross-advertising.
And
was it like the Burger King?
Well, the thing is, all I can think of is the two guys in Better Off Dead or whatever, you know? The two guys who are like, here we are with the Wii. It's like,
What's funny is, like, one of the commercials, I swear, was the Australian commercial, where they show up and the two guys are living at home alone, and of course they're playing the bass fishing. And
that's not a likely scenario for a gamer.
They show up at, like, a farm, and one of the guys tries to give them a goat or something.
What commercial are you watching?
I can't remember which one it was. There's like 2 or 3 of them out there, but they just show up and two guys are living in this house
All the
together.
new commercials for the video...
You would like to play.
All the new commercials for these video game systems have been really weird, like PlayStation 3.
Well, PlayStation's been totally waxed.
Off video game commercials after that creepy ass baby.
Oh my god!
At least the Wii,
I like the vibrating eggs myself.
The Wii one concerns me a lot less than the we're on drugs PlayStation 3 ones.
Yeah, the one where it's like PlayStation 3, it rolls eggs.
Yes, PlayStation 3, it takes black ooze and turns it into birds. Okay.
Wait, this is a sci-fi commercial promo. What are you talking about?
You can play the X-Files DVDs on it too.
Maybe.
Will they come to life and anally probe you?
Possibly.
I don't know, but somehow that has something to do with the 6-axis controller.
Right.
Let's not go into that.
I remember the zoom into this glowing red ball in the middle of the controller. It's dangerous. Might blow up.
Yeah, the baby one was
radioactive controller.
Creepy.
No, then they're still creepy.
with AI.
All right, moving along.
So
Stop creeping me out. I'm a little leprechaun.
I am the leprechaun.
No.
To say something real bad.
and of
Everybody's
course,
afraid of leprechauns.
yeah, and of course, the person that wants to move it along is the one that's holding me back. Okay.
No, it's the leprechaun.
Next news: Rule of Rose is getting banned everywhere.
Except for Japan and the U.S.
Yeah,
Any place that has
The places
electricity.
already came out.
Every place that has electricity that isn't Japan and the U.S. has had it banned, apparently.
yeah. So I don't know what the problem.
Which we've also said it's really weird that they're banning sucky games. It's like, they're violent, and they suck. Well, okay, you've saved Europe and Australia from a sucky game.
Has anyone actually played this game?
No.
No, because it's still too expensive. When it gets down to like $10, I'll totally buy it and try it.
Okay.
Because it looked really
I've
pretty.
watched it in motion. It's pretty whacked. It's
Although
it's
apparently
very.
there's a lot of repetitive running back and forth.
Yeah.
The combat totally sucks.
It's
a
not
real
for everyone,
severe
but it's
problem.
very freaky in its own way.
It sounds like the story's good. The gameplay is just painful to suffer through to get to it.
I would pay 2 burgers worth of money to try the game.
So as soon as Burger King releases their ad version of it,
Yeah.
He's speaking Wendy talk. I give it 2 double stacks.
So next news bit: the Dreamcast lives on. It's going to get 2 new games, both shooters.
Woo!
That was a big surprise.
Yeah.
Shmups forever, baby.
Trigger Heart Extension and Last Hope, which isn't an official Dreamcast release.
Which is probably why it's
not
taken so
actually
damn long to
officially
come out.
Dreamcast product. Then they just
They just
decided
burned
to
it on a
CD-ROM and say,
CD
"Here's
or
a Dreamcast game."
yeah, pretty much.
I'm in your Dreamcast downloading your torrents.
Yeah.
This game's been coming out for over a year now. It's actually already out, but it's not out on the Dreamcast.
So
But there's so few copies of it, and it costs like between $700 and $900 to buy a copy of it that nobody wants to
Well,
take the chance of trying to
that's
rip the
the,
ROM off the chip.
is that the AES version? That's like
Yeah.
600. Because the Dreamcast version will be a more respectable, what, $70?
Yeah. No, $70. What are you kidding me? Oh no, it's going to be like 40 or 49.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to
It's
be
going
that
to be a
bad.
standard.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too
Standard
bad.
self-
Think standard import price. Yeah.
Okay. Are you planning on picking it up?
Yeah. I've seen clips of it in motion. It's on their website. It's pretty and it's hard. It's up there with like R-Type hard, but the music is supposed to be superb and the backgrounds are just awesome to look at.
Cool.
So we'll see.
All right. Next, the Better Business Bureau investigates the Toys R Us Wii scam. Gee, what a surprise! I didn't see this.
Hey, wait a minute. Weren't we just here last year? Whoa.
Yeah.
Was it Toys R Us that did this last year? Or was
Well,
it
Toys-
That was Best Buy last year.
Best Buy last
Yeah.
year?
Well, it's everyone now.
Yeah.
No, it was
Best
Best
Buy.
Buy did it this year, and
Well,
then they stopped doing it in the middle of it.
Well, Best Buy has a problem with that because they don't seem to have very good control of their local stores. But they did do it for the 360. They did the bundle
Okay.
thing for the 360, and then the Best Buy CEO said, "Yeah, you know what, guys? Don't do that because then we get sued, and then I lose bonus money."
yeah.
Yeah.
And if I lose money, you lose money.
Apparently, it's fine though, as long as they just put in the advertising thing, bundle required. Here's what you got to buy.
But the problem is they were showing an ad
Actually,
that
they
said,
can't
"Here's
do that
the."
either. They cannot force you to buy something bundled that is not a bundle from the manufacturer.
Well,
they can offer you the bundle, but they can't require you to buy the bundle.
They can sell it as a bundle if they show the bundle price on the ad, though. If they say this is a bundle for $7.49,
They can't aftermarket bundle it and force you to buy the aftermarket bundle. They have to be able to sell you the core thing by itself.
So what about like all the EB and GameStop bundles and all the different bundles that are offered all over the place?
They
I think
can't
there's a.
require you to buy that bundle.
I
If
think
they
they-
have, but they don't
Well,
because they're not.
was that
The
the?
individuals are out of stock, and the bundle is all that's available.
Yeah, but the
especially here on the launches.
Yeah, but okay. If they don't have it in a box, if it doesn't all go in a box from the manufacturer, it's illegal to do that. Whether or not they're doing it, it's illegal to do that. You can't bundle it.
But there was no uproar or anything about any of the online stores doing that.
Yeah, but that was online, and people were made aware of the bundle ahead of time.
Yeah, they were advertising the price.
Just the fact
I think
that
the issue
is that they didn't tell people.
Yeah, the issue in this case is the fact they advertised get a PS3 for $600 at our store on this date. People showed up, and then they said, "Oh, but you have to buy the 1-year warranty, a game, and
regardless
of the bundle."
But regardless of whether or not,
I don't understand.
well, regardless of whether or not people complained about it or not, that doesn't mean it's legal or not. People are just desperate enough that they'll buy the combo.
But
Well,
everybody does that.
I think a lot of people especially buying the PS3, didn't care as much because they were going to turn it around for twice as money anyways. So they weren't going to argue as much, but they probably were, grumbling under their breath about it, like, oh.
Yeah.
But none of them were. Yeah, but every one of them still went and bought the system and left the store.
Well, I'm sure that's why you saw the eBay auctions with 1-year warranty included.
Yeah.
And well, at least you weren't a cop trying to get a PlayStation 3.
You mean like the ones that got put on paid leave for a month?
No, they got fired.
Well, I heard the security guards that let them in got fired, but I heard the cops were put on paid leave. That's the article I read.
Authority to do so, or what?
Well, they talked the security guards into letting them go first in line. And so they were able to guarantee to get one, while people, whereas people in line
It'd be kind
didn't.
of weird for them to get fired because they can kill people and not get fired. So
irony is a bitch.
Yeah, it's like if they got fired, that'd be really funny. It's like, well, you abused your authority to get a PS3, but that guy over there, you got killed. Paid leave.
Yeah.
We'll investigate it.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure Eternal Fair is going to be all over this PS3 thing.
So
as soon as
first
they can
question
find
is,
one.
So I hear that you were in line to get a PS3. Yeah. So did you get one?
Inline is kind of.
Can we try it?
Inline is kind of a subjective thing because we
Where
were
is
kind
it
of
now
like
and why is
standing.
it not here?
We were making sure no trouble broke out, and then we just kind of walked in.
okay, well, next, Gran Turismo HD, now a free download, and Gran Turismo 5 re-announced. So the whole micropayment thing is a thing of the past because they probably looked at the business model and went, "Yeah, we're not fucking doing that."
Not only that, but their online
Doesn't that
thing
mean
isn't
for the
really.
GTHD thing that you get
was
the
this
game for free, and then you still have to do micropayments to get the cars and such for it.
That's what that deal was, right?
Yeah, well, originally it was that.
You had to pay $30 or something.
Yeah,
You got the
game,
course set up
you
where
got
you got like 2 tracks and 5 or 10 cars, and then you had to buy.
So what's happening now is that they're saying, yeah, you know what, this probably wasn't the best idea.
Well, not only that,
So
they
going to
haven't
make
exactly
an
got
HD
the best
version of Gran Turismo, which will be a standalone game with everything, and they may have downloadable content, but it won't be nearly as bad as what it originally was going to be. And then they're going to...
If it's free, I would fully expect them to charge you for every car and every track for it, and I would think that.
I doubt it's going to be a full game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more like the pre-games they did for all the other Gran Turismo, where they have the concept releases where you paid like $20 and you got like 3 tracks and about 6 or 7 cars.
So is this going to be like some deal where you're going to have to download Gran Turismo HD for like a week, and then
I'm tending to wonder if maybe that's another reason why they canceled that business model, was because it was just they're having so many problems with the online system that it wasn't worth forcing people to have to go download all that.
Wait, PlayStation 3 has an online system?
Yes.
Well, that's what I heard.
Okay. All right.
I heard it was.
None of us have seen it, so...
I've seen pictures.
I've heard stories around the campfire.
I mean, it was just this glowing blue
PS3
blur,
is the
but I
thing.
was pretty sure it was actually PS3.
You could have been confused because I hear it looks a lot like the PSP one.
It's like a high-speed photography allows us to slow this down.
Yeah.
I think the aperture was too big.
So... Next,
But it passed all the best UFO debunking specialists, and I still thought it was a PS3.
PS3, that's the thing.
was a George Foreman grill.
UFON said it was kind of a blur they couldn't describe. So painfully horrible.
Has anybody bought a PS3 that we know?
Didn't Sean try to get one?
I know Sean tried to get one. I don't think he was entirely successful.
He sold his PS2 to Damien.
Yeah, I know. He's selling a lot of things.
Didn't you buy one of his too? The red one?
No.
Preparation for a PS3?
I thought on LJ you posted you.
I was interested in it, but
He sold the crap out of
okay.
but I didn't end up buying it.
That explains because Damien bought Guitar Hero from him also. That's probably why.
All right. So next, the Wii comes out in Japan and quickly sells out. Not a big surprise, although the Japanese tended to love the Wii a lot more than what was originally predicted. They were going to the Japanese, they're not going to like it. And then, of course, it sells out.
Even the Japanese are not very excited about dropping $600 on a system.
And the Japanese, they love the Wii.
Although, is this a surprise? Isn't this the country where they're still lining up for DSs?
Yeah, the DS is outselling the PlayStation 3 and the Wii.
Well, it's also
now.
outselling the PlayStation 2, which is even more impressive.
Yeah.
Well, it's outselling everything every week. I've never seen it go
It
under the
prints
radar,
money!
actually.
It does print money. The World Series of Video Games comes to CBS. I'm not making this
The
up.
wide world of video game sports.
Yeah, but like any fringe sport thing, quote unquote, that goes on a major network, it'll be on Saturday afternoon between Wild Kingdom and tennis for an hour. So really, it doesn't come to CBS so much as it's thrown a bone by a major network.
They're not the first one to get on the boat, though. I think USA is doing it on the weekends, too. They're doing like a Friday or Saturday night.
ESPN 2 or something.
Well,
competitive quesadilla tossing.
No, this is the biggest tournament out there. It's the big, the Frag Dolls are involved in it. All the big clans are in it.
It's still going to be playing right next to World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, the World's Strongmans are wicked. I don't care what anybody
Yeah,
says. Those are always fun to watch.
It's going to be right after John Biner's Bazaar, but before the sports machine.
Well,
so.
It's next to those outdoor logging competitions where the women who have biceps the size of me sit there and pick up sawed logs and toss them over walls or something.
I love that show.
The word log jam.
They've got that one where they've got these 3 logs that are chained together and they have to run over the top of them over the water. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's like most extreme elimination challenge for strong people.
Yeah. So,
for not Japanese office workers.
Yeah. Now, I know that the Game Show Network started a video games tournament thing. Granted, it was Bejeweled and a couple other of those types of games.
Xbox Lives.
Well, what kills me is that it's the Game Show Network. So why did it take them so long to catch on to this idea?
Well, look at the shows they play on this. They're all old game shows. They're not
70s,
really.
Well, that's the thing.
There's very few new ones.
If somebody had thought for a week and said, "Where can we get new games?" Hey, Bobby, you're playing a game. We could. I bet people compete with those games.
Yeah.
It'd be like their version of poker.
Okay.
All right, she's about to clear 3 lines of similarly colored jewels, and here comes the river, and oh.
She just got dumped on by the opponent. I think she's out.
They're going to get some 70-year-old golf announcer to do this.
Here we rejoin the Rise of the Robots competition. We're sorry to say that competitors 3 and 4 have killed themselves.
No, even worse, they're going to get ex-G4 employees.
Oh, my God.
Build on their gaming credentials.
Well, where are those guys going to get jobs otherwise?
It's like Video Game Pro.
They're going to get J.D. Roth to come back and do some commentary.
Oh, say it isn't so.
We're going to have Game Pro game tips right before the commercial break. And before the Atlanta Falcons game, let's go to our Game Pro game tip for Barbie's Horse Adventure.
It's halftime at the Super Dodgeball competition. Let's go back to Bobby and the crew in the studio.
and then they're gonna have John Madden okay, now press the A button here, and then they're gonna have all the
what
marks.
What do you got here? You got a guy who you got to take in circle, and you move him over there, and he's coming around here, and I guess he didn't do that, but the reason he didn't do that is because he circled this guy instead. And
yeah.
I don't know how this Blanca character takes a punishment, but he's got that shocking personality.
The circle will be complete when we have Madden announcing a football game.
That's not going to happen. He's like the Game Pro game tip of football.
What do you really?
Well, if you don't cross the line, you can't score. Thanks, because that was a
he'll be doing color commentary for a for a DS game where you actually circle things.
He might need some brain age training at this point in his life.
Yeah, the Brain Age tournament. There we go. Sponsored by Depends and Geritol. And now back to our action.
It'll be a game where there's a bus, and it'll be like, oh, it looks a lot like my bus. You know, I got a bus. I hate flying. I got a bus.
Yeah. So our last news bit.
So the next topic is about probing with Wii's?
Yes.
Wii probing.
Wii probing.
Yes.
Strap Wii probing.
Yeah.
Strap on Wii probe.
So,
I think that's all I needed to know.
Yeah, the news is that the Nintendo announced the Wiimote strap probe and replacement. So they're basically looking at the strap for the Wiimote and going, yeah, this should probably be a little bit stronger than, dental floss.
Well, it's kind of funny. Right after they announced this probe, so to speak, halfway through the release to Australia, all the new systems came with these stronger straps, but nobody knew it. It was like all under the radar until somebody posted, "Hey, look at this! This is thicker than the old one." So they're, we're just gonna
thicker Wii strap-ons.
I think I speak for all of us and hope that this probe is long and deep and comes to a fulfilling conclusion.
It's like the best review of the latest porno,
How is Nestor involved in this all?
Where's Howard Lincoln in all of this?
His Lincoln log.
Where's Waldo?
This is why it's Diehard Gamer Radio, because we just made a Nestor reference.
Well, I can't wait for my new issue of Nintendo Power. They'll have maps of Castlevania 2.
As the Metroid maps.
You know you're a diehard gamer when you hear Nest and all you can think of is King of Fighters and Conspiracy.
Crazy post where apparently a kid was desperate enough that when they got those Metroid maps, they built a pen and paper RPG around the strategy guide so they could play with their friends.
Wow.
Okay.
That's pretty nerdy.
That's wide and nerdy.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
really wide and
just going
nerdy.
to stick with the whole, Samus is a chick?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that news is, 20 years old? Oh, spoiler. Sorry. Some of you may not have played Metroid.
Damn it! Metroid 3 was coming out soon. Jeez.
Yeah, let's see. That was 10 years ago.
Can't put you in front of a mic anywhere.
And the last, one final thing I wanted to add
Damn it.
for the news bit was, and I forgot to put this on here because I didn't think it was that important.
Well,
but
I'll be sure that everybody knows it's not on the sheet of paper.
Yeah, it's not on the sheet of
Make sure
paper.
they've all had your
But,
Has everybody else been following along?
Does anybody else want to know what's sitting in front of us right now? We got a worn-out napkin. We got some quesadilla leftovers.
Podcasting is
Very odd
glamorous.
wooden board game.
Some Kiowa leftovers.
But
funky magnetic lamp. I got my pass card for work.
Yeah.
Pac-Man.
Don't forget my NDS.
Yeah,
gotta
get
Playing the
everybody
new
on
Portal
move
of
here.
Ruin Castlevania.
There's a big box that says soft U-Haul wear.
Yeah.
It's actually full of Legos, however.
But actually, the only news I wanted to add is that for people who like a good laugh, the Spike Video Game Award should be on Wednesday. So there you go.
But we already heard what the winners
Yeah, they announced the winners like 2 days in advance.
It's sad to say that I really won't think that's going to affect the ratings.
I'm really
I think
looking
it's
more
gonna have
forward
exactly
to that.
the same ratings.
I'm looking a lot more forward to that independent Canadian one as opposed to Spike. I mean, at least that one's got some actual reviews and.
Yeah, but it's Canadian.
Hey, man, at this point, I'll take what I can get.
Is it?
Is it what?
That isn't the one that's just for Canadian developers, is it?
I don't think so. I think it's supposed to be an international one, but it was done like an indie kind of setup because they just weren't happy with what anybody else was doing.
Huh.
Yeah.
So they're not considering games that were made on other planets?
Probably not.
Fucking racists.
That's racist. All right.
Mars haters.
So next topic. Well, actually, it's not a topic. We have our special feature, the Year in Games 2006. The Year in Review. I got nothing. No.
There really wasn't anything interesting that happened this year.
Yeah,
You could have just skipped it as a
Well,
video
there
game.
was the PS3. Oh, you're right. There's
Yeah.
nothing really interesting that happened this year.
Yeah,
was
there-
the last year of the E3.
Well, let's see. There was the PS.
We're now looking forward to PAX next year because that's really what E3 should be.
I can now play bowling on my video game system because I couldn't go bowling before. Oh, wait.
Hey, I'm going to give some props to that because my back's jacked up and my hands are just messed up enough that I can't bowl anymore,
But
so that's actually kind of fun.
I
Actual.
could still injure myself with Wii bowling.
Oh yeah.
That you could injure other things like televisions and walls and people's eye sockets.
He's never going to let us use it at his house again. He's going to be like, don't break my fucking TV!
No, you know what he's going to need to do? He's going to need to get one of those plexiglass boards that are used in ice rinks. Just put it in front of the television.
Cool, then we can check in front of it, too.
Yeah.
That
Hey.
would be pretty cool. I want to see a Wii hockey game where you actually beat your other opponent during the fight mode.
They do. Blades of Steel needs to come out on the Wii.
Blades of Steel.
It'd be mixing the boxing function with the ice arena feeling.
No, not on screen. You
But-
take that Wii and start fighting the person
But
next to you.
I mean, has there been
It's like a little blood sensor or something.
Or would they like zoom in on the pair of you and you're actually using the boxing function?
Yes.
So has there been any real outstanding title that's just shown for 2006? I mean, just anything that's
I think
been
I haven't
Guitar
even
Hero 2?
played it yet, but
Guitar Hero 2. Well, that is a very good
Well,
choice.
that was pretty
War
good.
got
But
me
Gears of
pretty
War,
goddamn
yeah,
excited this year.
it's huge. It's amazing how sweet looking that game is, and the play is. And I'm not even into that third person perspective generally, but this is like an exception.
Yeah, Gears
Far
of War
beyond.
is definitely amazing. Not my game, but
Well,
I do give it
I
props.
think that was our big AAA title for the next gen.
really for the whole year.
Well, yeah, because with the PS3 and the Wii stuff, we've just got the launch titles, so they don't really have real games yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was another thing that surprised me. That should have blown away any other title out there, as far as I'm concerned, for Game of the Year. And here we watch, like I'm giving it credit or anything, but Spike Awards says nope, it was Elder Scrolls, and
Oh yeah,
I was like, what?
Uh-huh.
Where the fuck did you get that?
they were so
Was it
impressed
Johnny
by having to
12-year-old
buy
that voted 30
horse
times?
armor that they had to vote it #1 game.
Well, Oblivion wasn't the worst bit about that, though. And by far the most annoying thing on there was the best video game character going to Jack Sparrow.
What?
Yeah. That's the problem. There's
Who's
just
voting
no
for this shit?
There's
Not
no
video game
reviewing of it.
developers, apparently. This needs to be like the Oscars, Send them out to all the development houses. If you haven't published a game, you don't get to vote.
If you haven't published a game this year, you don't get to vote.
Or system.
Well, let's see. That would knock out about 50% of the developers right
At
away.
least it gets rid of 3D Realms.
Of course, EA might start voting,
Did Prey come out this year?
Did it?
Released here in 2006.
Did it?
Prey, yeah.
Did it really?
It did.
Oh. I totally don't remember that.
Yeah,
That's how much of an impact it made on my conscience.
Yeah, there's a
Really?
big announcement
It
for
came out?
2006. Duke Nukem Forever didn't come out. What a surprise.
Shocking and amazing.
Duke Nukem Forever did not.
We're more excited about the fact it doesn't come out than when it actually will come out.
Hey, is the price for that still on Amazon?
Yeah.
It gets
It was
updated
actually
every
on
year.
it was on Best Buy's website too. It says, coming out 2007. I'm like,
yeah, I saw that.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Big restaurant, shit on the walls, cheese sticks.
Yeah.
So what happened at the beginning of the year? Because that was a long time ago, and I forgot all that shit.
There wasn't a lot at the beginning of the year. It was pretty slow, from what I remember.
2006 was a real slow
Everybody
year.
was holding things back until
yeah.
E3 happened because that was supposed to be the big push.
Well, I think what it was that everyone was developing for the new system, so all the development time just went into that. So I don't.
Yeah, we did see
really.
Releases this year.
We did start seeing an increase in portable stuff, though. There was a huge amount
I think
of
they were
portable
all
stuff starting.
spending their time developing MMOs that are coming out next year.
Yeah.
12 of them coming out, supposedly.
But
2006, also the year of WoW.
No.
yeah, but you do bring up a good point, John. 2006 didn't really have a lot of just really huge, memorable games.
Well, 2006,
It's kind of a blur.
2006, the Xbox was pretty much already dead. Because, I mean, if there's one thing I really would criticize Microsoft about with the 360 is they just dropped the Xbox like a box of rocks, and it just disappeared.
And you can't
That
do that
disappeared
when you
faster
don't
than
have...
AVP disappeared.
And you can't do that, you can't do that when you don't have complete backwards compatibility. You just don't drop your prior system and say, oh, well, screw you, all you people that aren't on the boat with us.
There just wasn't any games. I mean, all the third parties disappeared just as fast as just gone.
Yeah.
The GameCube, never really had any titles, so it's not a surprise there weren't any in 2006 either. But there had to be some stuff that came out for the PS2 this year. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I
Guitar Hero 2?
Well, yeah, there was that.
Before that.
When did Guitar Hero release?
That was October. No, it was the very beginning of November.
Yeah,
it was like November 8th
9th
or
or something
7th.
like that.
Yeah, because most of the AAA titles for the PlayStation
I thought
2
they were
came out in
God, I can't remember anything.
like
that
fourth
came out for
quarter.
PlayStation 2.
I thought
It
they were
was like
pushing
Final
for
Fantasy 12.
God of War
Guitar
2
Hero
was supposed
2.
to come out too,
Yeah,
but
it's
it
been
didn't. It got
until,
delayed too.
March.
So they had titles pushing for Christmas, but some came out, some didn't.
I guess we got a Final Fantasy. That was a big deal.
There was something out in
We got
August
like
too.
3 of them.
Well, we got a real Final Fantasy
Yeah.
that people got excited about.
Yeah.
I'd swear there was something that came out in August I bought too.
Although I saw Sorlak playing that Final Fantasy, the new one. And I just can't say once again I'm very interested in that.
Well, you're not
kinda
real big
looked
into
like-
the turn-based
Well, it kind of
games
looks
anyway.
like every other turn-based game I've ever seen. So
I really like turn-based games, but Final Fantasy is pretty much the same RPG I've been playing for 15 years now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Scroll through abilities really fast. Steve had a really big patch that came out a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, Revelations.
Change the default color scheme too. It's always
Well,
cool.
that's like that's like the major feature. It's like on the feature list for
Vista.
every
Oh,
time.
okay.
Every time they do a major patch, there's a new color scheme for it. It's like
It was almost a mini expansion too.
it was.
Yeah.
It really was.
But-
it was more than a mini expansion. I mean,
Yeah.
They ripped out chunks of stuff. And
2006, it's pretty forgettable for video games.
for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's forgettable for other reasons too. I'm kind of glad it's almost over.
Oh,
Hasn't
man.
been a great year.
It's been okay for me, but yeah.
Well, you got your little Pac-Man there, so really you're doing okay.
Yeah, I got my little...
Pac-Man Hacky says okay.
I think it's really surprising for this year. I think I've spent an awful lot of it just picking up a lot of the titles I missed before because they're cheap.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's where I've been, too. is
Not
I've
only
just
that, but
been
there was a
buying
lot of
I just
portable
picked up Black
games
now,
that
too,
came out in the
was on
last
sale.
4
the
months.
Platinum version was on sale at Target.
This was
So
another
it was like $14. It's like all right.
This was another year of sequels too. It seemed like a lot of games were having their sequels out,
Right.
and they're pushing for that. And that it seems like sequel years, I've noticed anyways, are generally slower years because they're not really new games. It's just more of the old and with a few new
Getting the
features
updated
and.
version or whatever. Yeah.
But this is kind of funny because this is one of those years where there weren't a lot of big titles, but there was a lot of releases on the portable system, so they seem to get a lot of publicity and a lot of... I mean, finally the PSP's got a decent amount of games coming out and decent games themselves. It's not just a bunch of ports that nobody really cares about. I mean, I started buying more imports all of a sudden than I was buying local games because they're just more interesting stuff import-wise.
Yeah.
But I mean, now new Castlevania came out. The PSP's got every extend extra.
Well, and I think for both of those, it's because they were in the right time. Both the DS and the PSP were the right time in their life cycle for that.
Yeah.
Because they'd both been out for about a year by the time the 2006 rolled around, so we were starting to see the second generation of stuff that knew what to do with it.
And it always
were able
takes
to come
about
out
a
with
year
quality
for them to
games.
get a good lineup of games coming out, and then a consistency afterwards, so you
Because,
see
it just
stuff.
takes the developers working on it for that long before you start getting good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, pretty forgettable year for games. Just
It
a lot of...
sucked.
There's been a lot of stuff, but nothing that's, like, really... That's just grabbed me, just, like, A++ material.
Well, nothing really
It's
super
just kind of
original.
blended together.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
there's
just
been
more
a lot
of
of
the
really
same.
good games, but not like
Guitar
one
Hero
really
2.
great game. Well, that's you.
It improved on it kept the good stuff from Guitar Hero 1 and improved on the stuff.
And hair metal.
You know, you got a lot. You got more songs. You got funnier joke songs, and the hammer on and pull off stuff.
And
the controls were
multiplayer
better.
was such a big
and the
add-on.
multiplayer, the
That
cooperative
really,
multiplayer was huge.
That's just awesome.
That's the first thing you thought of when you sat down with Guitar Hero 1 was,
And
man, I wish I could play with someone instead of against someone.
And now they've announced a drum add-on next game. I mean, that's just you can have a
so
full
long
band
as-
in 4 years.
It's so long as they actually put out.
Konami's entire lineup.
I mean, seriously, they need to take and I'm really, really, really hoping that it's not going to be, hey, go ahead and buy 2 new guitars for the Xbox 360 version.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to kill it for me. Because there's no way I'm buying 2 more
That's
guitars.
totally what it's going to be.
The only way it's going to
no
work
way.
is if you do it on the core system where you have the wired plug-in and you can use an adapter of some
The
sort.
3DS still has wired plugs. But, I mean, why in the world would they, have an adapter from USB over to the PS2 guitars?
Yeah.
And it's just...
They totally...
That seems like too much trouble.
And also because it would be really against the 360 philosophy because it wouldn't have any of the controls for the friend management or dealing with the dashboard. And Microsoft is really strict on all of that. And that's why the 360 guitar has that whole weird block of D-pad and buttons and everything.
I gotta believe they're gonna do a wireless thing, something where they're gonna work out a deal with Red Octane. Because I mean, now that Red Octane's got that wireless model for the PS2, I don't see why they wouldn't do something.
Seriously, it'll make me think about 7 or 8 more times if I have to buy new guitars just to play the same game on a different system.
Well, there's always the hopes that if you want to, switch over to the other system, that you can sell your existing ones too.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, for those of you listening, that was John's heater that turned on and then turned off. If you're wondering what strange sound effects were rumbling in the background.
Should I feed it turn that down so it doesn't turn on again?
I don't think it really matters.
Makes it sound like we're
in a place.
Yeah, in a place.
We're on a spaceship. Use your imagination.
It's kind of like remember
we're in the gaming warehouse.
Remember the old Toonami thing where the guy's in the spaceship and he's in between the commercials. That's where we are.
Yeah, telling us about games. It's like, what does Cartoon Network know about games?
So I think in retrospect, I'd say that 2006, a lot of the excitement and build-up was all about the hardware. And when you look back on that, there just isn't much left afterwards because really at the end of the day, it's about the games, not about the hardware.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird things, when I was driving back from Minnesota, I was listening to, I think, an indie station or something like that, and they had, at midnight, weird things that this guy plays or something. And, he's playing indie songs, whatever. And then right in the middle of it is a 20-minute commercial for Call of Duty 3.
20 minutes?
Yeah, it was long. I mean, it was an interview, quote-unquote, but it was really just a commercial that was stuck in the middle of the show.
Crazy.
What?
How they paid for
and
the
now
show.
back to an indie. I'm like, what? What the hell is that?
Now we'll play some more music for you.
Huh?
Speaking of strange things that pop up on my show, here's an ad for a game.
Huh?
Excuse me while I roll around in money.
Yeah, and it's Call of Duty 3. It plays at midnight here. So it's on Sunday, it plays Sunday at midnight. And so it's 1 a.m. Or 2 a.m. on the East Coast. And what?
Would have been much better to advertise something like Rule of Rose, probably.
How would you? Well, I mean, just in the middle, totally the wrong demographic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just totally the wrong demographic.
Yeah, because gamers.
I'm totally
listen
sure
to
because
the radio
nobody
at,
was listening to that
midnight.
show for video games.
Gamers don't listen to the show at midnight.
And
They're playing games at midnight.
I mean, you would think if this guy's got a show and he's got little bits of interviews with indie artists or something. No interviews in the whole thing. Just music and Call of Duty 3.
just metal and killing. It's
Was this serious?
Yeah.
No, it was a total joke.
Makes you serious. They did some advertising deal. Every channel on Sirius will play a Call of Duty 3 interview at one point.
Yeah, it's like that mobile game advertisement in the middle of magazines last month.
Oh
man. So 2006, pretty meh.
Meh.
So anything we want to see in 2007 other than
games? Games! Oh, sorry.
Better titles, bigger titles.
Well,
I'd like to see a 360 in my living room.
Yeah.
What now?
Well, we should hopefully start to see all the potential for all this new hardware we just
If I can
got.
swing it, I'll have a 360 before the end of the year. And only because Micro Center's got that deal going.
I'm totally waiting until tax refund time.
Yeah. I'm kind of with Steve on that one, and even
there's stuff on the 360 that I would like to play Gears of War, and the Xbox really put out a lot of games that I liked playing. So PlayStation, lots of cheap games.
Yeah, true.
Now,
I still want to spend another couple $100 on the Wii, so I may have to wait
maybe
too.
the PS3 in a couple of years goes down to a price that's less than a down payment on a car. I'll be okay.
Yeah, $549.
Or a house, for that matter.
Yeah. No kidding. Okay, well, that's it for our special feature. Next we have...
That was special.
Yes, it was special. That feature
Yes,
needed
very,
extra
very
help.
special.
Next we have
It
Gamer.
was gifted.
Yes. So next we have Gamer under Arak.
Iraq! Straight from Qatar is Steve. That was awesome. Did I tell you guys about that? We went to. Here's a totally off-topic little story, but
Get to the part where you pee.
exactly. We went to pick up some furniture that I bought from a coworker, and we're driving through some impressive suburbia. And it was
Like
surrounded by
$500,000 home.
I mean, they were gigantic
Impressive.
houses, but it was like these
Castles.
windy roads that went around everywhere. And we're looking for the street, and one of the streets is Qatar. Q.
It wasn't really a street, it was like a cul-de-sac.
It was like a cul-de-sac. We're like going, oh, no wonder Al Jazeera is so powerful right here.
Qatar hero. Okay.
And then, the lady that we picked up the furniture from was cracking jokes about the kids next door sound like they're going to war. And we're like, well, we just passed
It's
Qatar.
Yeah, so there you go. There's your little off-topic story.
There's
Okay.
a street named Qatar. Find it on Google Maps, kids.
Yes.
Look at some very bad architecture.
Yeah, they were all
Whoever
kind
designed those
they were-
streets should be shot.
Yeah, there was bad road planning.
It was like a bad maze.
It
I
was.
don't even know how some of the people that live there get their, find their way out.
That's the
It's like
point.
Japan.
They don't want people there.
Yeah.
It's like Japan.
Oh, jeez.
Except the addresses in Japan are based off how old the house is. Yeah.
so essentially based off nothing.
I can tell why we're lost. We're in the really old
It's
section.
based off the Fibonacci sequence
Yeah, yes.
numbers.
Well, I
Yes,
bet
it's a fractal addressing scheme.
I bet it's easy for the bureaucracy, though. You know,
I'm
they just
sure.
have this stack of numbers. When you build a house, they come in, they give you the one off the top.
It's a done deal.
They're just rolling like 20-sided dice.
Now
in the back
building
as
number
is.
57.
All right. So, Steve, you have a review for us?
I do.
Straight from Afghanistan.
No Afghanistan in this one.
Okay.
North Africa.
That's
Yeah.
pretty close.
Is that the big red one?
Yeah.
That's before the European powers came in and arbitrarily divided
Yeah.
into
Absolutely.
Afghanistan and others.
Absolutely. Different part. They haven't got Big Red 1. Call of Duty 2 does not have Afghanistan in it. It just has France. Well, and Africa. North Africa. So Call of Duty 2, done by Activision, done by a studio that I've never heard of, and John's never heard of either.
Great review, Steve. What do you want to
Keep it going, buddy.
We might add, this isn't the real Call of Duty 2. This is the other Call of Duty 2.
Yeah, this is Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1. And this particular one...
Brian's
vibrating!
Normally I do this at home in private, but
His Wii's at home. That's why.
There's not a ton to say about this game. I mean, it's a World War II FPS.
Oh, there's no.
another one?
Yeah.
Oh my god! You
That's
gotta
the
get it.
first time I've ever heard of a FPS that takes place
mean,
during World War II.
Seriously,
Tell me
it's
more.
like, not only does the description of it take 30 seconds, the game's about 30 seconds long too. It seriously is so short. I mean, literally, the only reason I haven't finished this game yet is because I haven't played it in 2 weeks, and I bought it 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So okay. So this thing, it's
I'm turning off your mic.
it's a World War II shooter, first person shooter. There's not a whole lot left to this game to say. It's decent. It's really short, and you can snipe with all the guns.
Probably worth the money though. I mean,
Well, it was
you get down to bargain
$20.
That's decent price for most games.
It's the Platinum series now for Xbox. So, but I mean, and the thing, there's a couple things I really don't like about it. It's decent. Don't get me wrong. If you can get it for $10, it's totally worth the price because you're paying about $1 an hour. So, but like there's a couple problems with it. Like they didn't. You can tell they didn't spend a lot of time figuring out trajectory for bullets and stuff, because I've been hiding behind corners of tanks and gotten killed by machine guns. All right, I think there's a problem with collision detection there.
Yeah.
Throwing grenades, sandbags are far too good at blocking grenades when you throw them. It's like, well, the guy's sitting right next to the grenade. His head's popped up over the sandbag. The grenade blows up in front of the sandbag. The guy's like, what? Something happened?
So the sandbags are made of like unobtainium or something.
Yeah. And the other problem I have is it totally works in your favor because you can defeat this entire game crawling on your stomach and sniping with any weapon. Like I said, the MP40. You've got a submachine gun, you're sniping people in buildings that are like down the street. Just, no.
It's a camper's dream.
Can you snipe with the shotgun, though?
Well, they don't have a shotgun.
Oh.
I don't think they have. No, they might have a shotgun at some point. Not a main weapon, though.
Yeah, probably not that useful either.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you can pick up German grenades. That's kind of fun. It's also kind of nice that
Pineapples.
Well, no, they've got the
or potato mashers. I mean,
they've got the baton thingies.
They call them potato mashers.
Well, we call them potato mashers.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure they have a very long word.
Yes, they do have.
And it's in German for some weird reason.
With a stick on the end where you pull the ring.
And here's a really funny thing about that.
Pull your toilet plunger and throw it.
When you pick up those grenades, they call them ammo.
Huh.
They call them something ammo, and I'm like, well, what the hell is that? It said hit black to pick up something ammo. So I picked it up and they're grenades.
Huh.
Oh, all right.
Crazy.
The other a couple tips about this game too, if you actually end up buying it. First chance you get, ditch your American weapons because you kill so many of those freaking Germans that you know.
Better to pick up their
Just
ammo.
Pick up their weapons and pick up their ammo. I mean, there's the game also suffers from unless you've gotten to the objective point, like that invisible line, the Nazis are eternally generated.
Oh,
yeah,
that sucks.
That random generation.
So you have to do. You have to inch up to the point where suddenly they've decided that you no longer you can tell that there's no more Nazis in the buildings, and they're not going to make some up that you can't see. But I mean, there's parts where there's machine gun nests, and you can sit there all day and fire at them, even with the real sniper rifle, which are all German, by the way. Apparently, the Americans didn't know how to make sniper rifles in World War II.
Okay.
You could drive a tank around too. That's kind of nice. They're kind of crappy World War II American tanks. Except for at the very end. I'm at the last level. I can't get past the Siegfried line, which is apparently much more difficult in this video game than it was in real life. And I got to drive a Panzer to get there. So that was pretty cool.
So what would you...
You didn't run out of gas?
I didn't run out of gas, though. I almost ran out of armor because part of the problem is, and this may be part of, it's in SD instead of HD. The camouflage works really well. For both the armor and for the things. Oh, there's also actually, now I remember it, there's one other thing to add. They have a really cool part where you're in a bomber and you have to not only bomb things, but you get to do all the different turret stuff. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
That's
Cool.
a
Pretty
nice
neat.
switch up for an FPS.
Yeah.
So what would you give
You have
this?
to look through the bomb sites and bomb stuff. Oh, by the way, when you do that bomb thing, don't use all your bombs in the first run.
Okay.
You're only supposed to drop one.
Important safety tip.
And he's like, don't miss that target. I'm like, all right, I got it. Damn it, no more bombs. I would give it 3.5. Just because it's, 8 hours long.
And that's assuming you spend under the $20 mark. Or
Yeah, I wouldn't pay more than $20 for this in any way, shape, or form.
Hey, how about we switch our review system off of out of stars to how many dollars would you pay for this game? That would be cool.
That's probably a worthwhile thing because I don't think anybody does that.
I don't know. We're getting kind of old, though. I mean, we're not looking at it from a new perspective. It's it's more like we've been around so long. It's like this is so not worth $50.
Well,
it's almost like we're a little too.
Worth
I'm just-
most of them are worth
I
$50,
understand. But
yeah.
I'm just saying we might be a little too biased in that sense, though.
Well, it's our opinions. It's not we have a scientific method for figuring this out or something.
The
I can't jerk off and play this game at the same time, so that's -25.
Leisure Suit Larry is so out of there.
Yeah, that's my first requirement when I play a game.
That's what the Wiimote's great for.
Yeah.
When's Rumble Roses coming out?
Oh, my God.
Or Dead or Alive 3. Oh,
All right.
God.
So next we have our game reviews, and I will be doing a review of Luminous 2 for the PSP.
You drop blocks. End of
Yes.
review.
Yes,
Is it
that's
different than Lumines? Or
No, you drop blocks
just-
again.
You drop more blocks.
okay.
Just
So
when you thought it was safe.
so
I got blocks from the sky!
So the way this review is going to work is I'm going to go under the assumption that the majority of the audience has played Luminous.
Well, if they haven't, they should play that. And
Yeah.
then they can decide if they want Lumines 2 or not. 'cause
Well, actually-
Lumines is cheap.
Okay. Luminous 2 has a majority of the skins from Luminous 1.
Oh, wow, that's retarded.
Yes. They also have They also have parts.
Peanut gallery.
Yeah.
This is another example of our highly scientific commenting system. Wow, that's retarded.
Yeah. The other thing is that there are some levels which have full motion video, as in full motion music videos, which are very distracting when you're trying to match colors, and sometimes the color scheme doesn't work too well.
Because I know there's nothing better than
hose.
I think the Black Eyed Peas video might have one or two.
Because there's nothing more than I like to do is go to a concert and play my portable puzzle game.
Yeah.
Oh no, my blocks are covering up the hose.
After a little bit of ecstasy, nothing makes a rave better than a little bit of luminous.
But the differences between Luminous 1 and Luminous 2, the only real differences is that, well, there's a lot more skins. I think
Apparently
it's
a lot
like
more
98 or 99 skins in the whole game.
Wasn't there something like 50 in the first one?
It's like 30 or 40 in the first one, so they've added about 50 skins. There's 3 different skill levels in the game when you start the one-player mode. So there's the A, B, and the S class. They also changed the block
Easy,
frequency.
Normal, hard was just too much for
Yeah, I guess. Also, they've changed the block frequency. In the old game, there were some blocks that showed up at like a 12% rate.
Well,
and
in the old game, it was actually really simple.
Yeah.
It was, so you had the 4 blocks, and there was just a 50-50 chance that any one of those blocks would be one color or the other.
Yeah, well, now they've changed it.
Huh. So now it's actually biased towards certain kinds of blocks?
No, it's, well, yeah, I guess so. It seems it's. This is going to sound really strange, but it seems more predictable.
It's bigot blocks.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. It's kind of, you have to kind of fool around with the game a little, but it does seem that you can kind of tell, okay, I'm about to get this type of block, so you can kind of manipulate what blocks come down.
Maybe you just got the one with the ESP add-on.
Probably. I don't know.
Think really hard, you get the blocks you want.
The only other things that they've added to the game is that they've added your own sequencer so that you can make your own background music and levels in the game. There's a demo
I had
of...
to pay $350 for a sequencer.
Yeah. Well,
You got robbed, man.
Hey,
I could have just bought Luminous. 2.
Hey, screw that, man. You could have just gotten a GBA.
yeah, buy electroplankton. They've added a couple 2-player modes, nothing overly major. They didn't really fuck with the formula too much. Added a preview of a playable demo of Every Extend Extra, which was kind of a surprise, actually.
Yeah, considering they both got released on the same day.
Yeah.
What the hell? I could see if it wasn't coming out for...
Yeah.
Though, on the plus side, for Every Extend Extra, it is one of the only times where I think we have gotten better cover art than the Japanese.
Yeah, it was kind of unusual, yeah.
Yeah, the cover art for the American one is far superior.
It was like a 70s retro look kind of.
Japan superior.
Yeah. But Luminous 2 is basically, if you've played Luminous 1, you've played Luminous 2. If you want the multitude of extra levels, extra skins, extra music, and some of the music's actually very good. Some of the music videos from some of the bands that they've picked, not so good.
Was it worth the money you paid for it to get all this extra crap?
To a certain extent.
How much money would you pay for this game?
I would pay about $20 for this game.
How much did you buy for it?
$19.99. But, you know, it's got enough extra modes and enough skins to definitely keep you occupied for... Because half of the fun of Luminous was just opening up all the skins and everything.
So you get to have that same fun again.
Yeah, except you get to play levels like, you know, to Gwen Stefani's Hollowback Girl.
Or you could have just played a music video in the background while you're playing the game.
Yeah,
like on your TV or
possibly.
MTV or
So
something
wasn't
else
this the
music.
same videos and music they had for the Japanese release? Did the Japanese have to listen to Hollowback Girl too?
I believe it's the same.
No, they got to listen to No Doubt, and I'm really
Actually-
pissed off about it.
Actually, my understanding was that Luminous 2 was not released in Japan.
Huh.
I think it's just an American-only release.
That's pretty wacky.
Well, they were too busy all playing Final Fantasy, so they didn't have time for Luminous.
Yeah, there's something really bizarre about the fact that the game just did not come out in Japan, which is a surprise, because I thought, puzzle game, really bright, pretty colors.
Japanese developer.
Yeah, but
So what you're telling me is that when picking video games, the Japanese pick like they're ferrets.
not quite. So
Ferrets that like turn-based RPGs?
possibly. So in the end, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Same thing. Lots of nifty extra stuff, but if you already have Luminous, I'd
Not
probably
really
just stick with
compelling.
that. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the new levels are really cool, but,
I could see myself waiting for a $20.
yeah, I would. So
I'd
next,
give it 15 maybe.
So next, Brian has a review for us of probably one of the biggest games of the year.
Biggest anticipated games.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a Zelda.
The
I
most
always look forward to
anticipated
them.
Zelda this year.
Well, there's originally another one was planned and it got pushed back. So
Yeah, it got pushed back to like March.
I think it's going to be probably summer at the rate it's going. But anyways, we've got Twilight Princess right now, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, there was another title coming out. I think it was for the NDS though.
It's Phantom Hourglass for the Nintendo DS.
Yeah. Any case, yeah, I was super looking forward to this game. A lot of my friends weren't. I was kind of surprised. They were just going to get it on the GameCube version when it came out, but I was overly excited about the Wii. And I don't know, I just was excited about the concept of the Wii and getting
builds up after a while.
so much for going on a roll.
We will have a Wii joke compilation show.
We can't let you be the only reviewer that doesn't get interrupted.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I was really looking forward to this. I think it was just probably one of the biggest games in my mind of the year. I watched all the pictures, read all the reviews, was excited about the functionality of getting to use the remotes, even the nunchuck. I was kind of surprised how much that plays into the game. Most of my friends are not that excited about it. They were just going to be happy to buy it on the GameCube version. They didn't. I'd probably just because they weren't real excited about the Wii itself. I was super excited, and it really paid off. I got to say, this game was very fun. And I'm still playing it. I'm only about 17 hours into it, but it's very pretty. One of my friends described it, I think, best. He said it was like mixing Zelda with Metroid. And there were two games that did really well. I mean, it was in the third-person perspective and the functionality of the Wiimote. You got a lot of the kind of what you expected from Metroid, but it was the Zelda formula. And I haven't enjoyed a Zelda game this much since I played Ocarina of Time. I didn't get that much out of Majora's Mask, and I didn't buy it because of that. I just watched a friend play it, and I just realized it wasn't that exciting. And this really brought it back for me. This is probably my favorite Zelda of all time, literally, because it's just there's so much to it, and it's so unique, and it's so much fun to play. There was a lot of people worried in the beginning that using the new controllers and all the motions and whatnot was going to be tiresome, kind of wear on you. It's going to be hard to use. But it takes maybe an hour or so to get used to that. And once you learn the controls, it flows, and you enjoy playing it. And it gives maybe a little bit more excitement to the game that probably wouldn't have had it without the controllers. So this Zelda is really unique. You start off like all Zeldas, as learning your trade, getting the weapon, the shield, yada, 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 getting into the story. But this had a unique... It kind of had this Okami part to it, where there's 3 times in the game so far I've seen that you change into this wolf. You go into this alternate dimension. It's like the dark side of Zelda, and you get to use the wolf just like you do Link, and he functions a lot in the same control scheme anyways. And it's fun. It's unique. It's different. It's kind of silly, but it's still fun Zelda fun, like the Zelda you remember of old that got you excited about it the first time.
So not actually going to be a dark werewolf adventure where the ghosts of the people you've killed come up to taunt you.
No, not quite. You're trying to revive the ghost, so to speak, that somebody else has kind of killed in a way. But a great game, just super fun, extremely fun on the Wii so far. I haven't had a chance to play the GameCube version, but I don't expect it to be all that different, just, simplified controls for that matter. I think this is probably the best game they've put out in the system. It's very fine-tuned. It's Nintendo, to the core. And you can tell they went to every extra they could to make this just the best game and a release game, no doubt. I mean, that was probably one of the big selling points of the system, I think. For me, anyways, I was super excited. Had this not come out, I probably wouldn't have been as excited about the Wii and getting it on day one. So I'm going to give this like a 4.5 out of 5, almost a 5 for that matter.
Okay.
And it's definitely worth the money. It's worth the wait. It's worth the Wii functionality. You can get it on the GameCube, but I would recommend trying it on the Wii if you have the chance.
How much would you pay for this game?
I don't often like to pay full price, like the full suggested retail, but I don't feel bad about paying $49 for this. I think it was worth it.
But how close is it to justifying the cost of a Wii just to play?
That's a harder call. I mean, I'm one of those people that will not.
$300 game on its own, but might be like what, $150 worth of value.
At least, yeah. I generally don't buy a system unless I can guarantee there's 5 or 6 games that I'm going to buy the system for. But this system's just different enough, and I know that there's a guaranteed selection of games coming out pretty quickly that I could justify it. I'm excited about other games like Excite Truck I've gotten to play. Red Steel, not so great. Elebits looks great. Metal Slug Anthology I've been super psyched for. So there's a list of games within the couple of months since the system's come out that I can justify buying the system for. And I think it's worth it for me, but maybe not for everybody else. But this also was the cheapest system that came out this year, too. And it's got the pack-in sports games. I mean, it really is a fun system to play with. Everybody I've shown this to has really had a good time with it. They, surprisingly enough, they had more fun making their own little Miis, the characters of themselves, than just about anything else. But they've enjoyed the system for what it is, and it served its purpose, I think.
I didn't get that either.
I
don't understand why that was so fascinating.
I'm still waiting to see what all the options are, because I want to know if you can make a realistic Stalin or not.
You can get pretty close. I mean, when you can see the Big Lebowski characters done on in a Mii's, I'm saying, yeah, it's probably possible to do a Stalin.
Before I forget, by the way, if it's still there, which I imagine it still is, at Tower Records or Closeout, they've got for the PS2 Metal Slug 4, Metal Slug 5.
No, it was Xbox, but yeah.
Xbox? Yeah, they got that there if anybody actually wants it. Cause
I've got them on my arcade, so I didn't.
There when I was there today.
Oh, yeah. Somebody actually bought it?
Apparently.
Craziness. It was like one of the last 12 games left there.
Yeah.
Well, now they're down to like 6. So.
Is Naruto
they sell the Warship Gunner 2 yet?
Naruto's still there. No, because I bought the other one.
There's Shin Megami Tensei in there.
Yeah, Devil Summoner 2.
Interesting side note for Legend of Zelda for both the Wii and the GameCube versions of the game. Famitsu gave them the exact same score. Gave them a 38 out of 40, I believe.
That's interesting.
So, yeah, I actually, that was a pretty interesting. They're like, hey, the Wii functionality is cool, but it's the same quality game.
Mention that note about what you told me about the left and right-handed. That was pretty
for some reason, well, what it was that when Nintendo was pretty much done making
Twilight
Princess, the main protagonist, Link, is left-handed. So the whole game was based on the fact that he was left-handed. And then they're like, well, wait a minute. The majority of people that are playing the Wii are right-handed. Well, shit. We have to flip the entire game horizontally. I shit you not. They flipped the entire game so that Link was right-handed to make it easier for people to actually play.
Because they're using the Wiimote right-handed, so how would you get a left-hand strike with a white?
Going through the development process, none of them ever thought, "Hey, I'm right-handed."
Well,
apparently not.
Yeah, and then as far as the GameCube version goes, I'm wondering if that's.
That one I don't think it matters.
If he was left-handed in the GameCube,
yeah,
right-handed
we'll know tomorrow when it comes out.
I wanted to mention one.
Yeah.
I want to mention one odd thing too. I just thought about. I was reading on Kotaku.com today about DOA Extreme 2 and how it was not expected by most of the gaming public to be that big of a game, and Microsoft hyped it like crazy and pushed it as one of their big selections, and lo and behold, it's the 7th biggest selling game over there right now. Go figure.
It's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, I wouldn't have pegged that either. I was Dead or Alive Extreme 2, and it's not even the same as the first game. They changed it up so much and added all these weird side things to it that I wouldn't have expected it to be half as popular as the first one was. Yeah. But I think people are finally,
popular, but like not 7th most popular.
It's
It
especially
would appeal to a select hardcore audience.
Yeah,
That didn't have
male
friends.
between 18 and 30. Yeah, or 12
Single
and 30 for
males,
that matter.
18 to 30,
Well,
and possibly lesbians.
It's the shmup fans that live next to the fighter fans. They're in the same apartment complex.
No, not lesbians, because lesbians like real women.
And you would know this why.
Did you do an interview recently? It was
I took an extensive, exhaustive
How much
study
would you pay for this
I
study?
know.
Do you have a newsletter?
What rating would you give this study?
But also, I mean, it's not the kind of plasticized, idealized feminine form is something that seems to be a particularly male fantasy type.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
Well, I guess that's it for the last Diehard Gamer radio of the year. We'll be back in 2007
Can we skip a year?
Let's just do this all again next year.
Yeah.
We could just do a review. Yeah. A year in review. We can cram it all into one.
Yeah. Might be like a 10-hour show,
Especially
but
if it was like last year.
yeah, if it was like 2006. Well, in 2007, Ken Kutaragi exposed himself to radiation, got really large, attacked Japan, knocked over Tokyo Tower.
But left Sony alone for some weird reason.
Yeah. Yeah, he's what is he now? CEO?
No,
He got he's chairman.
Not CEO, just chairman.
So he got demoted as in
No, if he'd done really well, he would have been CEO.
He
But
got demoted upwards.
yeah.
Is this like rising to your level of incompetence?
No, this is kind of like you did the virtual what? Yeah, go over, sit there, and drink tea.
And
more like honorary emperor of Sony.
then we'll have a picture of Ken, and it'll have like this fancy new tea kettle. It'll be like $600.
Yeah, it'll
Sony.
be $600 in the size of your head.
So is
And
Ken
looks-
part of Sony now, or
No,
is he still part
Sony,
of
he's
SCE?
chairman of SCE.
Oh, okay.
Which means he is in a position of power, but isn't allowed to do anything.
Basically, if he tries to do
He's a figurehead.
day-to-day operations, they'll slap his hands. Don't touch.
Yeah,
You touch stuff, it breaks.
It's one step shy of Bushido.
yeah. It's the equivalent of a timeout. It's basically
They gave him a corporate timeout.
Yeah, corporate career timeout.
it is.
Go sit in the desk in the corner. Put on the
So that's
PS3
what the
cone
corner
hat.
office is for.
Yeah.
It's like putting your nose in the corner. They took a PlayStation 3, they put it on the wall and made him put his nose on it.
No, you have to hold this up with your head. It was like some Jackie Chan training thing.
He's probably in Japan right now writing kanji. He's practicing kanji like he's in cram school.
Look what you did. They push his nose into a PS3 and spank him with a paper
Or just
towel.
close the lid.
with a rolled up newspaper.
The Asahi
Bad Ken,
Shimbun.
bad Ken.
Like thick ass newspaper.
Yeah.
Picked up
Better
a bunch
than-
of them on the subway.
They keep hitting him with Shonen Jumps.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the latest Shonen Jump. Yeah, that would
No, the Shonen Weekly, which
Like every week you get a telephone book.
You get a phone book in the head. Smack.
I just want to see a Photoshop now with the Weeaboo 3.
Weeboo. All right, well, let me
Now
do
that we've abused our favorite infamous Japanese now chairman.
Yeah, but Ken makes it so easy.
Yeah, that's true. And none of all the Sony execs make it easy. It's like they open their mouth and it's comedy gold.
Did you read that thing that they had by the Australian head of Sony?
Oh,
Oh God, that was funny.
oh man.
Oh man, that's
Although
so
Australia is just like full of weird gaming news now. I mean, it's like it was Nintendo of Australia going, "Oh, we're not going to have enough, and then we're going to have too many, and then we don't know how many we're going to get."
Yeah.
You're Nintendo. You should know.
Especially considering they cost like $500 in Australia or something.
Well, the Australian head of Sony basically said that Nintendo, the Wii, was going to be more fun to play, but the PS3 was made for the entertainment enthusiast, The one that wanted the whole shebang. And
You know,
wanted
hookers
all
are-
the multi.
Hookers
Yeah.
are made for the entertainment enthusiasts too.
I swear to God, I have no idea why whenever an exec for Sony opens their mouth, aides don't tackle them. It's just like, do you have a comment for us? Well, I'd like to. There's like 4 or 5 guys in suits that just gang tackle him and like, no, I have an opinion.
What do you do? I cover his ass in times of need.
Yeah. So instead, what does Sony do? Show us, commercials of their controller being able to, maneuver eggs.
Yes.
I can see how this would excite the ladies, but that's probably the extent of it.
Honestly,
or scare them maybe.
It rolls eggs, but it doesn't allow them to rumble.
Well, I don't understand. Here's the thing. I don't get what it is about those commercials. Okay, they're weird and everything. That's fine. But what does it have to do with anything that they're promoting?
It doesn't.
I mean, it's like, 6-axis. That had to do what with the black oil? I mean, Krychek shows up with his 6-axis controller.
Well, that's the same with the
like
Nintendo
the
ones,
PSP
too.
ones also, for that matter. It's like, this
oh,
PSP game's like
it's
cheese outside.
You're like looking at cheese outside.
I think they just wanted to confuse people so much that they remembered the commercial.
Well, I mean,
It's
there's
like,
something
did
to
you see
that.
PSP commercial?
But,
It was like
like
cheese
that,
outside.
I like
just like
it's
crazy
looking at Dutch
entertaining.
balls outside.
Yo, they were hilarious, man. But some of the best
59
commercials are
like
the
the
worst
crazy
commercials, but they make you remember them.
Head on, apply directly to forehead.
God, I hate this stuff, but it works so well.
It's a placebo.
Hey, yeah, that was a
PlayStation
4chan.
3, apply directly to forehead.
That was a 4chan meme for a while. It was like all these crazy things people were applying to their foreheads.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, that's a wrap. All right. So,
Apply directly to forehead.
Or in Japan, it'd be directly to mouth.
So you've been listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. As always, you can listen to us at diehardgamerradio.com. You can also listen to us at allpodcast.com and podcastalley.com. So once again, you've been listening to 4 guys who know a lot about games, not much else, and we will see you in 2007.